and welcome to a video about some kind of weird experiment that I'm gonna try out. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Okay, so if you've been subscribed or you've been watching my videos for a while, or maybe even gone back and looked at some, you know that I did a video a while back where I destroyed the headstock of a guitar and I fixed it. And I have a neck that I want to reshape again, and I don't want to mess it up this time because that would be bad. I've been thinking of a smart way to do it more easily for myself, because I don't have that much room to do things, and I also don't have every necessary tool to do every single job. I have to come up with ways to do things differently than maybe the way I would want to do it. Does that make sense? I'm just gonna roll with it making sense. Anyway, I came up with an idea for a damn, it's tight, for a new template to help me shape a headstock easierly is a new word. Look it up. Before I clamped down the neck template and I used the right one that I wanted to use for the headstock. And now I feel like that's a really good way for cutting out a neck when you're doing an entire neck, when you're making your own neck. But when you're reshaping a neck someone else has made, then that's not the best way to do it. So I've been thinking of ways to keep everything, you know, snug and smooth and in its place so that this issues won't occur again. Let's put it that way. And I have come up with a solution, basically. And that is, I've made a template of the headstock. Here I have it. And I know it's painted white, but that's just because I made it out of some plywood that was painted white. And what I've done is I've drilled a hole right there. You can see the hole. Meow. And this goes straight in here. 90 degrees from this angle here, and 90 degrees from that angle there. Straight in to here, and it doesn't come out the other end. And I have one of these little clamps, little C-clamps, and I can push it in here, this hole, like so. And now, let me get a neck. Now I can take a guitar neck, like this one, and I can put this on here, like this. And I can line it up, the back with the edge that is already on there, and I can clamp it in place. And I can make sure that it aligns the way I want to do it, so that the part that I want to cut and the way I want to cut it is perfect. Now it's really on there. It doesn't need to be more complicated than this. This is really, really easy. But I haven't tried it. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape. You know, this sticky thing that I have right here. Just to make it even more secure, and also because I feel like it can move a little bit like this. Obviously, I didn't clamp it down now as tightly as I possibly can, because I'm just showing you the thing. But I'm going to do that anyway, just because I want to be super careful and super secure, and I really don't want to mess things up. And then we'll just reshape this guitar neck and see how it goes, basically. And I really, really, really hope that the router will be able to sit on top of here without anything in the way, and that I will be able to come in here and cut this off and just make it perfect. Now, if you look at the back here, you can see that, for example, right here we have a little bit. I'm not going to remove that. I'm going to remove up here, right there. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to try to put in a little piece, because you can see how there is a little bit sticking out there, just to get around everything. And yeah, and I got some gunk on the neck right here. Ugh. Did you see that? Anyway, so I'm not going to reshape right here because I feel like that will it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to clamp this neck down, make it all secured, and we're going to start the routing. And hopefully nothing will go wrong. And we'll see what happens. So let's go. I think that went exactly the way I wanted it to. And now I can just untighten this. I think I might need to put on a handle of some sort, just because it hurts a little bit to move this if you clamp it down too much. But then again, maybe I shouldn't clamp it down that hard. But you know, first time you do something or use something, it's always a little bit scary. And then we can pull this out first, for example. It's a little bit tight, but I think it's best if it's really tight. There we go. And there we have it. And obviously we need to sand this. Can you see anything? Okay, sand this. Yeah. There we go. Get it off. And remove the tape. Here it is. And remove this tape. And I know it looks a little bit wonky, but I'm going to try to... I cut off the pieces of wood that I was going to route away, because you want to use the router to remove as little as possible. So this part here that was a little bit too much for the router to take in one go. But yeah, so I removed it before, and I'm thinking that if I can remember where I put that piece, maybe I can take this and maybe I can glue it in here. I don't know. I'm gonna experiment with that, but it's not that much. It's just a little bit of wood that I need. So I might see if I have some maple lying around. I'm just gonna give this a quick sanding with a little bit of sandpaper, you know, something like this. And I did walk around it a little bit, so I got a little bit of a notch taken out right up here, but I think I can fix that by just sanding it away. And I need to sand this anyway, because you need to sand everything all the time, everywhere anyway. You know, it's just a part of the game when it comes to building guitars. 90% of what you do is sanding. So yeah, I'm just gonna sand it like this, and I'll be back in a couple of seconds when I've smoothed everything out a little bit. Okay, so I took the pieces that I cut off from right here, and I glued them onto that little edge there. And I took some sawdust from just sanding and scraping and things like that, and I just filled in it a little bit. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be right now. We will fix it and work on it and go back and forth until we're happy with it. And now I'm just going to take and put down some tape, and this is the wrong place. I want to put it on the back, I think, just because it's going to be easier to align the template with the back, I think. And I just want to draw out the shape, basically. So put that down there, and I'm going to just remove the excess a little bit, just so that it's easier to work with. There we have it. Now let's take a pen and the template and try to align this again and just feel around so that it is fitting as good as it can. And as you can see, I have a lot that I can remove. So there we have it. And now I'm just gonna take my Japanese rasp, this thing here, which all guitar builders have for some reason. I think I was the first in the world. That's a joke. And I'm just gonna go like this. But, you know, not that silly. Here is the neck right now. You can obviously see where I've spliced the wood, but that's not what this video is really about. And it's going to disappear more when I do the next things I'm going to do to this neck. But that's going to be another video, maybe. We'll see. Let me know if you're interested, because it's kind of standard things that I do. I'm going to make a relic neck with the marks on the fretboard and all of that. Anyway, that's the end of this video, and I have to say, personally, that I think that this was a great idea. I think everyone should make their template like this, because that was the easiest I've ever had it, reshaping a guitar headstock. Kind of wish I'd done this many years ago now. Obviously, didn't have the idea many years ago, but that was ridiculously easy to do, and I enjoyed it. I don't really like routing the headstock because I always feel like something's gonna go bad, and most of the time nothing goes bad. It's unfortunate that it happened the one time I was filming and making a video, and not, you know, those hundreds of times I've done it before when, you know, I didn't have a YouTube channel. But, you know, that's just the way it is. You win some, you lose some, but this was a win, and I'm super happy about it. So, if you are gonna reshape a headstock or something like that, and you have a small space that you work in, and you don't have a place, for example, for a router table, which I know people probably think that I should be using, but I don't have the space for a router table. Words. They are. But anyway, I think you should make one of these. And yeah, I think it looks nice. I think it looks good. It looks the way I wanted it to do. And obviously it needs to be sanded and everything, you know, to make it blend in even more. And I can blend it in even more with, for example, a little bit of paint and a little bit of sawdust and things like that to make it even more discreet. But that's the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to stay awesome and cool, and go and reshape a headstock. But first, before you do that, make yourself one of these templates. They're super easy to do. I just took the template I already had, just traced it around with the router, and then I just drilled this hole. The hardest part was drilling this hole and making sure that it was 90 degree in all angles, but that's what I used this for. Probably should have said that in the beginning of the video, but it wasn't that hard to do. Just clamp it in there and drill a hole. So go and do that and make yourself one of these templates, and you can have a lot of fun. And yeah, you can play around with that. Look what I just found.